24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
I wasn't expecting you yet.
I've been awake since 5. There's only so many times I can pace up and down my kitchen.
Did you pass Tara on the way in?
Front door was open.
Oh, great.
She's probably just out the back. I'll go after her with a big net.
Okay, thanks. How did he take it? He was over the moon. He was, actually, in a way. As long as I've got someone else, then one less thing to worry about. He was happy to accept that we'd had an affair. Anything that bolsters his death wish.
Was he surprised that it was me?
Is that what's worrying you? The embarrassment of your situation?
No, I just wasn't expecting you to tell him, that's all.
Well, neither was I. And if I'd known he was going to see it as a blessing, then I would have kept stum.
I don't know what you want from me right now.
Oh, poor you, bereft of your customary resolve.
Sarcasm won't get you anywhere.
I've got things to do. Where's Heston?
He's on a home visit. He needs to issue
A death certificate.
$98, $99, $100. Ready or not, here I come. You can run, but you can't hide.
Why today, Tara? Any day but today.
Her bike is still in the garage. She can't have gone far.
Should have put her under house arrest.
We don't have to leave for an hour. She'll be back soon.
She promised to stay away from there after the last time.
Hmm?
The woods. I bet she's gone to the woods.
Right.
Now, I will be taking an early lunch break today, remember?
Oh, yes, you've got your VIP chat with Gordon. I hope you've been brushing up on your psalms.
Well, I suspect it will be more practical than celestial. The Reverend would like to make some minor changes to parochial matters.
Oh, you reckon? See, because the Gordon I know isn't one for minor changes, more a major overhaul.
Well, not in our parish. As the saying goes, if it is not broken, do not fix it.
See, I don't think you're going to be singing from the same hymn sheet, you see, because Gordon is an agent for change. He's like one of those business strategy people off the telly, you know, really shake things up.
Mrs. Hollins, we are talking about a place of worship, not some struggling retail outlet.
Same principle. No health centre.
I can hear you. I can smell you. Dad? Dad? Are you all right? What's happened? Okay, don't worry. I'll go get help. You're going to be fine, Dad. Just stay there.
What do you think you're doing, you stupid...
My dad.
What?
My daddy's fallen. Can't move.
Where is he?
In the woods, not far.
Take me to him. What were you doing out
We
here?
were just playing. Dad, I'm here, Dad.
Is this where he fell?
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Well, it could just have been a sprain.
No, he couldn't move at all.
But he has moved.
This doesn't make any sense.
Well, somebody must have found him, helped him.
If he was able to move, then he would have waited for me because he knew how worried I was.
There must be some kind of rational explanation.
No, you didn't see the state of him. He couldn't just vanish. Wherever he is, he needs our help. We need to inform the police now. Have you got a phone?
No signal. Look, I'll give you a lift to the station, okay?
He's about 5'10". He was wearing blue jeans and a thick checkered shirt, sort of lumberjack style.
Hello.
Hey, Rob, listen, have you got a minute? This young lady's very worried about her father. They were in the woods earlier.
He must have slipped. I found him down a ditch and he couldn't move. So I went to go get help. By the time I got back, he was gone.
When was this?
When? Just now, about half an hour ago.
Really? You didn't see your dad today, Tara. You didn't see him this morning.
Yes, I did. I know I did.
We've been through this before, haven't we? You've made about 5 complaints in the last 6 months. I can show you the paperwork if you want. Tara! My father's dead.
When?
A couple of years ago. The poor kid needs a counsellor, not a copper.
Tara! Tara!
Need a lift somewhere?
Got nowhere to go.
Half term?
Finished with school, I'm 16.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay. Bye then. Where'd you live?
Still not picking up.
Are you Tara's mother?
Yes, you are?
Dr. Granger. I work at the Mill Health Centre. She's very worried about her father.
My daughter has a vivid imagination. Her father's dead, but she can certainly choose her moments. I'm sorry for your trouble. We've been pulling our hair out.
You only care about your own feelings. Not mine, not Dad's. And he's very upset.
Tara, please.
I'd rather...
Let me talk to her when she's calmed down.
You'll only make things worse.
Give me a chance, eh? You take the taxi. I'll join you at the register office with Tara.
I can't believe that you would be party to this.
Sorry?
Sanctioning Sam's suicide.
If you recall, I was reluctant to take on Sam as a patient, but was persuaded to do it by you and Chris against my better judgment.
Well, I couldn't have imagined this.
And neither could I. For what it's worth, I did try and talk him out of it, but I'm obligated to recall.
Home.
This is you?
I was Tara's counsellor.
So she's no longer in therapy.
When she turned 16, she wanted to stop. I thought it was a bit too soon, but we couldn't force her to continue. Not long afterwards, Marie and I got together. We planned to delicately break the news to Tara, but she found out sooner than we'd expected, and not in the best way. We thought it might be difficult for her to accept. We didn't anticipate how difficult. It sent her back to where she was 2 years ago, only worse. If we'd known the effect it would have on her then.
So she won't accept your relationship?
It's not only that. She thinks it's some sort of extramarital conspiracy. Her way.
She really believes that?
She tries to. And now it seems the fantasies are winning.
Excuse me. Hello? Yeah, 5 minutes. Okay, bye. Sorry, I've got to go.
I'm not saying he isn't despondent. He's clearly very low about his condition, but that doesn't mean he's mentally unstable. We have to make that distinction.
Do we? Well, your precious distinctions are going to kill my husband. Who are you to judge him mentally anyway? You should try living with him. Hi.
Hi, it's me. Just a quick one. Are you able to get over here for lunch?
Why? What's wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Sir Timothy Gromwald, the guy from the Clermont. Concerns?
Any concerns? Well, there's one big concern.
You don't have to be here.
No. I should be there. Look, 12 isn't good for me, but I'll make it work.
Great, I'll see you then.
Bye. Well, now you've given him the green light, there's no stopping him. He's invited the Swiss executioner for lunch. You can cover for me.
I understand why you're upset, Tara. And I know that no one can replace your dad. I'm not trying to do that. I can never do that.
Leave me alone.
But please, just try to understand that I love your mother very much. And for you to be there at our wedding today, it would mean the world to us both.
Go to hell!
Please, ladies, take a pew. Though not literally, I've arranged some more conducive seating. It's very good of you to join me today, and I must apologize for last week's theatrics.
We should recommend you to the Lethbridge Players.
Yes, your performance was most convincing.
Well, if nothing else, Mrs. Temby, it casts a worthy light on your charitable nature.
Come on, Marie. We don't need Tara's permission.
Not her permission, her blessing.
Okay. I understand.
Too many of England's once thriving churches are enthralled to outmoded traditions. Soon, the Church of England may be little more than a network of museums administered by the National Trust.
Well, that's a bit strong, isn't it?
We are not in the heritage business. And there can be little value in preaching to the converted. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yes, but that goes without saying, doesn't it?
You would think so. But some ministers seem to regard a full congregation as an inconvenience rather than a necessity. I'm not amongst them.
I gather you managed to double your congregation in your previous church, Reverend.
You've done your research, Mrs. Temby. And yes, false modesty aside, I am happy to acknowledge that success. And I hope to encourage a similar effect here. To that end, I have one or two suggestions. I understand that you still use the original King James Bible.
Yes, but that's not so unusual, is it?
A modern version would be more accessible, especially for newcomers. Or do you disagree?
Well, I, for one, am devoted to King James in its original form.
I see.
Nevertheless, we should not cloud our judgment, and perhaps a modern version might be suitable for some services.
Found myself today singing out like the lady said I'm crazy. If I am, I'm crazy for you. Sometimes sitting in the dark, wishing you were here turns me crazy. But it's you who makes me lose my head. And every time I'm meant to be acting sensible, you drift into my head and turn me into a crumbling fool.
Marie.
You have told them.
I told them there's been a delay.
What?
Dr. Granger phoned me. He's gone round to the house. Maybe he can talk some sense into Tara.
These short-sighted ideas won't bolster his flock. Just drive away the existing parishioners. First that fancy dress caper, now this. The man's a lunatic.
Are we all refreshed and ready to resume? Splendid. Please. Mrs. Temby said something to me during the break, which I found most interesting. She said the church could be much more child-friendly. A truly welcoming environment for the next generation. I hope I haven't misquoted you.
No, not at all. Those were my exact words.
I thought so. And I couldn't agree more. Children should be able to take communion before confirmation. Of course they should. And we can enable a more flexible and relaxed seating arrangement by simply removing the pews. This would create the kind of child-friendly atmosphere Mrs. Temby suggests.
Excuse me. Can I make my position very clear?
But of course.
Allowing children to take communion is a denial of the sacrament. And as for removing these beautiful pews, why, that is an act of wanton vandalism.
It isn't the pews which make a church, Mrs. Temby, but it's people.
I support the drive to attract younger parishioners, of course I do. But that is not to say that we should transform our church into an open-plan youth club. Nor should we abandon the cornerstones of our faith in a quest to broaden its appeal.
Hear, hear. Very well put.
Tara!
As I say, the most simplest task is now almost beyond me. I don't know which is worse, the lack of control or the loss of dignity. Oh, Timothy, this is Emma, my wife.
Please, let me take.
You haven't come all the way from Geneva, have you?
No, I'm mainly based in the UK, but my work takes me all over Europe.
Your work?
We're a purely philanthropic organisation with no commercial interests.
You know, the kettle is just boiled. Why don't we make Tim a cup of tea?
How do you take it?
Just a little milk, thanks.
So, how did you get involved?
Excuse me?
With the clinic?
It's a long story. My father suffered from motor neurone disease, and...
And how many deaths are you personally responsible for? No, I'm just curious. I mean, how does somebody get involved in this line of work? Was it a boyhood dream to become the Grim Reaper's right-hand man?
My mother died when I was very young. My father developed motor neurone disease when I was 15, and I was his main carer. He was desperate to end his life. There was nothing we could do. Until eventually Clemence helped to end his suffering. It was a long and painful process, but it doesn't have to be like that for everyone.
I'm sorry. It's just that I'm finding it rather difficult to get my head around all this. I mean, here you are, conspiring to murder my husband, and I'm supposed to cheerfully ask whether you would like one lump or two. It's so British.
I understand how upsetting this must be for...
No. Please don't tell me that you know how I feel. Because you don't. You can't.
Tara! Can you hear me?
Dad? Dad?
Where are you?
I knew you'd come. Go away.
Tara, you need help.
You don't belong here. I'm building a den. It's not for you.
Okay, who's it for?
It's for me and Dad.
And this drawing?
Okay, would it be all right if I take copies of these?
Sure, no problem.
I'll need to check your suitability with the Geneva office. Strictly speaking, you're not terminally ill, and that might be an issue.
Of course it's an issue.
Why?
But you're not suitable. Your condition isn't terminal.
My conditions I have several, none of which are very promising. My situation is terminal, no question.
In the event that we can help you, Clemence would require legally admissible proof of your wish to die. Normally this is a signed affidavit, and it needs to be countersigned by 2 independent witnesses. We'd also need to arrange at least one more face-to-face meeting with either myself or another member of our team.
Fine.
Thank you again for your time and input. It's been a most illuminating discussion. And I'm looking forward to the challenge, to the prospect of working with you over the coming months. Thank you. Oh, that's very kind, Mrs. Tenby, but please leave all this to me.
Very well. You are a skillful politician, Reverend.
Excuse me?
You are a clever man. With your cunning disguises and your devious flattery. But let me tell you this. Anyone who thinks they can put words into my mouth will soon regret it. Good afternoon.
He's here somewhere. He's hiding out. Things got a bit messy at home, so he's just decided to lie low for a while.
This isn't you, is it?
It isn't anything.
It's him, the dad.
What do you want? Just get lost.
You know what he did, don't you? We've drawn it here. Look, these fantasies won't bring him back, Tara. Is this your way of honouring him? By pretending he's still alive?
How could he do it? How could he kill himself when he knew how much I loved him and needed him?
Your father had a terrible illness.
He always seemed like a happy person.
He probably was happy for much of his life.
I don't recognise that man. The man who did this.
But you do know that he did it.
Yes. I know what he did.
It doesn't alter the fact that he loved you and your mum. And you know what? He would have wanted you to move on from what happened.
Mum's already moved on. She doesn't care about Dad or me.
Do you really believe that?
Do you have any other questions?
Yes, I do actually. It's more on a personal matter. Well, not that this isn't all personal, but no, both Emma and myself were very worried about when and how we should explain the situation to our son, Chris.
Hold on. I'm not worried about that. Because this isn't going to happen. This meeting was about if, not when. And we've already established that you're not a suitable candidate.
Well, we'll let the clinic decide that, won't we?
The issue of how and when to tell loved ones is always difficult. I'd recommend a free and frank discussion sooner rather than later.
I can't believe you're going to tell Chris. It'll destroy him.
He's not a child. He deals with death every day.
As a practice nurse. Hardly.
It'll be tough, but he'll cope. I think you'll find he takes the news a lot better than you expect.
I agreed to indulge this because I thought that the cold reality would knock some sense into you.
On the contrary. It's made me see things a lot clearer. I have hope now. I agree. I think you're right. I think we should tell him sooner rather than later. I'll let him know by the end of the week.
Where is everyone?
Gone home?
Have I missed it?
No. How could I get married without you?
I'm really sorry.
Doesn't matter. You're here now.
Let's go home, shall we?
Yeah, let's go home.
It may take a few days for head office to get back to me, but I'll keep you posted.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, Tim. It's very much appreciated.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Reed. Nice to meet you.
It's Dr. Reed.
Of course. My mistake. Goodbye.
I'm going to do this, Anna.
Yes, I'm aware I'm a partner, Howard, but I'm a doctor too. I didn't exactly train in personnel.
Same old, same old.
What were you expecting? Leprosy and rabies?
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
I have thought that he might be having an affair.
Unpredictable